Welcome to Unfinished Business, episode 3. We are excited to get into it today. I am Matt. I'm joined as always by Taylor, Tyler, and Corey. What's going on in the disc golf world, gentlemen?
Oh, I forgot about this segment. I played some more. It's like 50 degrees still, so that's good.
Oh, yeah, I was going to ask you, Corey, how cold was it this past weekend? Because I think it got down to like 49.
Wasn't bad. Today it was like 60. So I played with a glitch only, and that was weird. Never done that before. But yeah, it's pretty good. I'm bummed because they pull the baskets for toboggan, so it's not like I could even. I mean, I could still throw, but that course is like only in for certain times of the year, and then they pull it so that people aren't like ruining the ground. So
sledding is a big thing there in the wintertime, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's also a toboggan hill, so you would totally run into it, a basket or two if you did that. But I've never sled there though.
Sick. Well, I got two things I want to mention. One, for all you listeners, we have a Twitter page and an Instagram page that we just guys kicked up and started. So get on there and check it out. Go into our description so you can go see it. We are looking in the future. There will be an Instagram giveaway coming up. So be on the lookout for that and the instructions on how to do that. So that's first. But second, as I alluded to last week, guys, this is Ryder Cup week for me. Do any of you guys know what I'm talking about?
Familiar, yep.
Like Ghost Rider.
So it's a ball golf tournament that happens every 2 years. It's kind of like the President's Cup that we have for disc golf, but this is like supposed to be a huge deal. So it happens every 2 years in ball golf, Europe versus United States, and we do it in our disc golf group. And this is the second time we've done it. So we have two guys that either are relatively same skill level. In this time, it was these two had like a grudge match. And so there was some, beef between the two a little bit. So they were the captains, and so they chose the teams. And so we played 27 holes, so it's 3 nines. And the first 9 is alternate shot pairings. So we'll choose who we pair up for an alternate shot. So you and your partner will tee off every other hole to start. And then after you tee off, the other person will throw, and you just it is what it is. It's alternating shot. And so you'll play against another group stroke play. The second 9 is straight up scramble against another partner, and then the last 9 is singles. But the most exciting thing about singles match is it is stroke play, but also you put who you want to go out first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, to go out in a singles match, and the other team does it. So you have no idea who you're playing against. So you could be playing against a really, player that you should smash or a player that you could get smashed by. And so it makes for really exciting to figure out who's playing against who. And that usually comes down to the wire. So in our disc golf group, we're playing on Saturday. And so there'll be an update next week on if our team won.
Is this like a real thing, or is this something you guys put together?
We put it together, but Ryder Cup is a real thing in ball golf world. It's real. And it just happened this past September, and it's an amazing event. Go to YouTube, go look it up. It's crazy.
So do you wait 2 years?
No, we want to do it every year.
Okay.
But ironically, if we waited till January, it would be every 2 years, because the last time we did this, it was almost 2 years ago. This past year, it didn't work out, and we didn't do it, and it kind of fell through. But we had a buddy move back from Colorado, and we were like, dude, we are doing the Ryder Cup. We got to get this thing going. We have a different name for it. But yeah, it's so much fun. I'm going to try to get some video clips and whatnot put together. But yeah, big shout out to House of Chains this week. We're going to be doing our Ryder Cup. And I'll tell you right now, while we were just chit-chatting the hour before this, I have 60 missed notifications regarding in our group chat. So it's nonstop crap talk and smack talk, and it's awesome.
How many people are in this?
So before, when we did it, there was 12 people total. Okay. This time there's only going to be 8 people total. So It is a little bit smaller this time around, but it's still just as fun. And
that's a tense 8. That's a tense 8 there.
So there's 8 possible points that you can grab for your team, or that's possible to get, and you have to get more points than the other team. So somebody's going to have to get 4.5 points, and you get a half point if you tie the match. So if everyone ties, then there's no winner. So somebody has to win. The last time we did it, the last group was coming in, and we had a guy on my team that was up two holes with 2 to go. All he had to do was tie the guy in one of the last 2 holes for us to win, and he lost the last 2 holes, and it went to a total tie. It was a dramatic scene. The guy was in the thorn bushes on one of the last holes trying to scramble to tie the hole. It was so dramatic. But
the amount of pet pressure that guy felt, I would hate to be that guy.
Yeah, that's insane.
I felt terrible because we were all waiting for him on the last hole to congratulate him, and he's just going through it in the middle of the fairway in the thorn bushes, and we're all just waiting for him. It's maybe we should have been on the tee box.
Hold on, there were thorn bushes in the middle of the fairway.
Well, not middle. It was a wooded area, so there's a thorn bush area that's kind of in the middle of the hole.
I just pictured fairway, and then
there's a thorn bush in the middle.
Thorn bush. He's man.
So we got that coming up, and so it's tense, man. It's super tense, and so it's just super exciting.
That's awesome.
I like that. What about you, Taylor? Anything going on in your world?
Yeah, juxtaposition to that, I am not a tournament player at all. I think the last time I played a tournament was 2018. So I'm much more casual guy, go film disc reviews, that sort of stuff. This past time I went out to play last week. I, for the first time in a very long time, just played a true one-shot practice round. So I'm typically a guy that's chucking a bunch of drives, approaches, putts, everything. I was shocked at the end of that round how not tired I was. I was is this what it's like to not throw 3 drives, 3 approaches, everything on every hole? I was this is incredible. It's I'm going to go play another round. So maybe I should do that more often. And we were having some bag discussions earlier. The Grip A series is a heavy bag to be toting around. So
where did you play?
So it's a course called Walton Woods. It's my home course, closest course to me. So it's definitely the hardest course in my area. Also played the longs. So it was fun. Most wooded course that we have near me by far.
Let me ask this question. You guys go to a new course. It's got short tees and it's got long tees. Which one are you opting in for? This is you can play. You're playing it once today. You might not ever play it again. Which one are you opting in for there? Short or longs?
Depends on who I'm with. I have two disc golf friend groups. I've got the guys that are very casual. We go out on a Sunday morning, we're just chilling, we play the shorts. And then I've got my buddies that are gung ho, all right, new course, we're doing this right. We're gonna lose 17 discs. Let's go longs.
We're doing this right. I love it.
And I'm actually this Saturday, I'll be playing a new course that's I think an hour away from me, but my buddy said there's at least a handful of 1,000-foot holes, so it's gonna be fun.
Wow. Yeah, similar for me. The guys I play with here since we moved are mostly people that I've introduced to the game for the most part. Yeah. So that kind of newer people would definitely go shorts. But if it's for me, my experience, I would definitely play longs.
I'm just gonna straight flat out longs.
Flat out longs. That's so. I always opt in. I don't always. If the shorts and longs are a drastic difference, then I'll have that debate or I'll do half and half. But I have a buddy that if you tell him we're gonna play the shorts, it doesn't matter if the shorts are 3 feet shorter than the longs, bro. He is fiending to play the longs at all times, and I'm look, the total feet is just
I know
people
the whole
course combines 15 feet difference.
Yeah, exactly. And it's and he's no, man, we gotta play the longs, dude. But I think that makes I typically opt in because I'm typically on a time constraint. I typically opt into short tees.
Shorts, yeah. I get that.
Yeah.
I want to throw in just one more thing though, that I forgot to mention. We are playing our Ryder Cup at Stafford Woods too. So,
you are.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
We're playing longs on the front 9s, and then we're going back to the front 9 and playing the shorts for the singles matches.
So you said 27 holes.
So we play 9, and then we regroup after 9 holes, and we can mix up the groups if we want to, and then we play another 9, and then we all go back to hole 1, and we all play the front 9. It's very fortunate at Stafford where 9 comes back to like hole 1 area, so it's actually an easy finish. So
you're only playing the front 9 on Stafford? Or are you ever playing is one of your rounds the back 9?
It's front 9 alternates, back 9 scramble, and then front 9 shorts single matches.
Do you know, this is not good for the podcast thing, but do you know there's one hole Stafford, it's a par 5.
Oh yeah.
Very wooded.
Hole 11.
I can picture it now.
Have you seen it eagled?
Have I what?
Have you seen it eagled? Like
on the shorts, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was.
Yeah. My buddy actually did it. Jesse Betts, shout out. I saw him do it, and you have to throw perfect shot, and obviously a good putt.
Yeah. For reference, it's like a wooded fairway, and it's really, you'd like want to kind of throw a mid off the bat, and you want to move left. And if you don't move left, there is just no way to make your shot for like the eagle. Like if you mess up.
I think you have to throw like a flip up like fairway driver, so it like will slowly drift left and give you distance. Yeah, because it kind of goes like this direction slightly, but you have to miss a tree on the corner on the left hand side of the bend, so it makes it really difficult. And then you go like up this hill, like over like this little crevice, like another 300 or so feet. So,
It's a very cool hole though. But here's my question then. You guys go to those courses and you just see one of the trees that is just destroyed by discs hitting it.
Oh, I'll send you a picture. There's one that looks like it got caught on fire.
Dude, one time I pulled up to a course in North Carolina and I played the front 9 with a buddy, and some random guy I think he was wearing a Slipknot shirt. He had like a ponytail and he had some like American flag bandana, and he was like
Dave.
Yeah, his name was Dave, and he was like, "Let me join you." And we were like, "Okay." And he just kept chanting. I think he was chanting, "The trees are alive." And this course was so wooded; it was just chopped up.
Somebody
everywhere.
needs to get this guy on coverage somewhere. I need
it was actually hilarious. I wish he had to like leave halfway through, but that's just how disc golf goes. You meet some random guy named Dave, and you guys play like 8 holes together.
Then you never see him again in your life. Yeah,
exactly. I'm never gonna see that boy again. But shout out to that man. He was beating our butts too, but this is home course, so we'll take it. Okay, so a lot of these topics, I'm a disc fiend. Like the way, based on the time I've started playing disc golf and the amount of discs I currently own, like,
3 days ago?
Yeah, 3 days ago. 4 ago I was born, and then 3 days ago I started playing. And the way the extrapolation of that is like I will have too many. I love like the discussion of flight numbers and all of these things, and so that's why I had a lot of these questions here. But my first one, this is the most important question. This will tell us if I even like some of you later. Is your top 5 greatest discs of all time? Okay, this is the first one. Does someone want to start us off here? I got a quick question. Did you guys put them in order of what you think is the 5th best to the 1st best, or is it just random top 5? Random top 5.
Yeah, I did not. Mine are just top 5. Yeah.
Okay.
I can make mine in order.
I put mine in order just for fun.
I don't think I could. Honestly.
I think we should go down the list together and see what we got.
That's fine. I'll make it happen right now then.
So are we starting at 5 and going up?
Oh, you don't have to put them in order. I'm just saying, I think we should each go around and say, like, what's one disc on our top 5 and see if anyone else has it. And we can go around and talk about it.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Tyler, do you want to start us off then? Do you have your first top 5 here?
I do. So in the number 5 spot, I thought about this long and hard and long.
Ooh.
So it's a Discmania disc. It is arguably one of the greatest throwing putters of all time. It's the P2. It's a disc that everyone loves to throw generally, but a lot of people like to putt with it. It was the first disc that Discmania came out with their original molds when they started up their, I guess you just say the original molds again, or, whatever, their own plastic. So yeah, P2, number 5. Anyone else?
So I kind of did this differently. I must have read it wrong, but I didn't think it was like my personal top 5. I thought it was just top 5 like best discs of all time.
It is. It is.
Because that would be 2 different things for me.
Yeah.
So like
it's whatever you think that the top 5 discs ever are.
I want to know about you, Corey. Okay, and if I like you or not. That's the goal here.
Listen. Just want to let you know.
So May 27th, 1993.
I hate the P2, actually. I don't like throwing it, but I know a lot of people like it, so I'm thinking P2 has got to be number 5.
I actually think, and we'll get into this discussion, but like shallow throwing putters versus like kind of deep throwing putters, like the P2, I would qualify the P2 as, like, it's like a different style of throw. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, we'll see if anyone else has one disc I'm talking about, but like, it just, how it flies is different. It glides a little more, it feels like. Maybe not as torque resistant depending on what you're doing, but I don't know. Keep going here. Corey, what is your...
So number 5, I'm going to go with the Buzz, which I know is very controversial because you either love it or you hate it. I personally love it. A lot of people say that it doesn't fit their hand right, but for some reason, like this little like fatty part of your like pointer finger fits in like the under blade, I guess you can consider it. So it just feels very comfortable to me. I think the Buzz, I know that there were mid-ranges in the past before this, and there's like, I mean, every company has like the quote unquote dead straight, like -1 mid-range, but I think the Buzz just, some people say it doesn't do what it's supposed to. I don't know what that means because they have the Buzz SS and the Buzz OS, which are like, you have the slot, but I'm going to say the Buzz.
Here's what go ahead, Taylor.
I was going to say, I also had the Buzz in my top 5. I actually have a top 4 and then 3 alternates that are on my mind. So we'll see what I end up picking.
Okay.
But so I kind of went through thinking this is like molds that had the greatest impact on disc golf as a whole, which I feel like the Buzz definitely entered in. Obviously, large mid-range that I'm sure, is on my list, will probably be on some others in this. The Buzz really ushered in like the modern mid-range, in my opinion, where it's beadless, a lot more sleek, flat, fits in your hand a little bit better, but still has that same really straight kind of workable true flight. So Buzz also on my list.
Here's the thing. Nate Turner said this in a video, and I really liked when he said this. He said, there are 2 kinds of -1 discs. There are -1 discs that flip up and go straight, and there are -1 discs you throw flat. Yeah, and they're different discs, but they're listed the same. So this is the difference here. I would not opt to, like, I don't like how the Buzz feels in my hand. I threw a Buzz for a while, and it felt like I was always throwing it nose up. But I really like the Buzz SS, so it was an in between. But it's that difference there. Like, there's the flippy version and then there's the straight version, which in my head, if you have the flippy version, it should be a -1 and a straight version should be a 0-0, like a Mako 3. Like,
well, I will say this isn't on my list, but the J from Innova is literally what the Buzz numbering should be. Actually, it's a 5401. The J and I have a love-hate relationship because of the star plastic, but the J is an amazing disc that does practically exactly what the Buzz does. It was, I believe, the MD3, the old MD3 model.
Okay.
Yep.
Taylor, what's your 5th?
Yeah, I'll throw in there quick too, because I got to plug it. Infinite Disc Chariot, also an old MD3 mold.
I want to just say real quick, so we can check it off my list. I had the Buzz ranked number 2 on my list.
Okay.
I'll keep the mid talk going. Next one in mine is The Rock, of course. I feel like you can't have a top 5 disc of all time list without The Rock. Just
fun fact, I've never thrown it.
That's crazy.
I feel like a polarizing disc based on like hand feel. And obviously at this point there's like 80 different versions of The Rock, but again, going back to like discs that had a very large impact on the game, I think The Rock is up there for sure.
People would bag like 6 rocks where they all fly differently. It's crazy to
There's
believe
something
that.
special about a KC Pro Rock, man. That's the rock that if you've never thrown a rock, Corey, I would definitely recommend just spend like 3 rounds with a KC Pro Rock, and that thing will shape shots that you've probably not thrown before.
It's so weird.
It's gonna sound kind of lame, but the reason I didn't is because I did not like Innova's old like graphics. so now that they made this new like graphics scheme that's going to be on everything, I might pick up a Rock.
Yeah, this is the only unfortunate part. Rock was going to be on my list too. I decided against it. The only unfortunate part about Rocks is how many there are. I had a Rock 3 specifically, Champ Rock 3, best mid-range I've ever had, and I knew the second I got it, I was going to lose it. And it was like really old. I lost it a week into having it. And I've been looking for that overstable mid like that ever since. But I did see Trevor recently posted a video today, and he had a new rock. New rocks are just not stable. I have a new rock DX that is just neutral or understable. It's like crazy. And then Trevor confirmed my theory here, but
they're super convoluted at this point. Like there's so many like Shark, Lion. They're all like just Atlas is like the overmolded rock. Like you got to be a true historian to like find the right rock for you. I feel like
a good Champ Rock 3 though, that hits 100% of the time. All right, I'm gonna go for this is my fifth. These are kind of in order. It's not crazy in order, but I'll put it in there. And it's the Wraith. Okay. And my reason for this being the Wraith here is because if you are a beginner player, it can be a great forehand disc, or if you get a DX one, it's pretty straight. You're not going to the crazy realm. You can get in a lighter weight. You can make that happen. If you're an advanced player, you can just do it like a ton of stuff with the Wraith. I have like 2 of them. One's a DX that's just like a bomber, and the other one's a little more stable. And it's like to have that option in between is kind of gas.
I almost went with the Wraith too, but obviously I didn't because I chose something else.
Yeah,
I feel like I sleep on the Wraith. I don't think about the Wraith enough in my day-to-day life. You chose the
Leopard.
I thought about it.
You didn't think about it. All right, give us
beginner pack, bro. So
yeah,
give us your fourth then, Tyler. What's your fourth here?
My fourth. I thought about this one long. No, I'm just kidding. This is the OG FD from Discmania as well. So FD, I've never thrown one, and when I wasn't throwing over 300 feet, I would throw somebody else's, and I'm like, this thing's garbage. I don't know what anyone's talking about. And then I threw an FD after I could start to throw like close to 350, and I was like, the FD is amazing, dude. It does crazy shape shopping. You can throw it on hyzer or you can throw it on flat. It does a little thing through the woods that's really cool. So yeah, the OG FD, or I'll also say this, the Innova Hawkeye is the pretty much exact same thing. And I bagged that as well. And that disc is sick.
Yeah, I found a brand new Hawkeye with the new logos on it on the course the other day.
That's what I got.
In Champ plastic, no number, nothing. I tried my hardest to get it back to someone. Throwing it is just insanely straight.
It's so good. So good.
It's pretty wild.
Not talked about enough.
Yeah.
I feel like the FD is kind of like just when people say like, oh, this is a longer mid-range, like the FD is truly just like a longer mid-range. Like it has a very similar flight and kind of hand feel release and everything, but just goes farther.
And I do not like the new FDs, so it's very fascinating for me.
I haven't felt one, so I wouldn't know what to tell you there. Corey, what's your fourth here?
Fourth for me is the Destroyer.
Ooh.
Destroyer.
The reason
it's gonna be on here
is because I wasn't a big Destroyer guy, but it's the flight numbers that everyone wants. It's the 12. What is it? 12.5 minus 3 or minus 1.3.
Yeah.
Everyone is striving for that. So you have to put the Destroyer. Me personally, I'm going to do the same thing that Taylor did and, throw out my branding. The finish line interval is a minus 1.2, but it is just the most money disc you can get right now. It's like a broken in Destroyer or even like a farther Wraith or anything else that I'm supposed to. Drew didn't give me a script for this, so I'm kind of winging it, but yeah, it's a really good disc. I actually, before that, I was throwing the Discraft Crank, which is a minus 2.2, and I needed something that was a little more stable than that, but I could not find, whether it was like a DD3 or a Destroyer, I could not find something that was like the perfect disc. And then this came out and I was like, all right, cool. But it's the Destroyer. Everyone has one.
Same on my list. Exact same reasoning. I feel like you can go down the list of every brand and be like, oh, that's this brand's destroyer. Like that's just every brand has a destroyer.
Number 3 on my list is the destroyer.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be on here. My number 4 is, I'm really changing up from you guys. I'm glad I put it in this order. But my number 4 is the Hex. The Hex in my head. I used to throw a Buzz SS. Like I said, I still like Buzz SSs, but I used to throw like a Z Buzz SS for that flip up straight shot. But I'm transitioning to that Hex. It feels really better. It really good in your hand. And if you've got the Ultra and you've got Hexes, they have a similar like depth and profile and those kind of things. So swapping them out does not seem like that big of a deal. So that's kind of my goal with my mid ranges. But just a note there. All right, Taylor, why don't you start us off with your third?
Yeah, so I have one more of my original 4, and then we'll see which of the alternates actually make it. But
okay.
This is a disc and a slot that I do not throw personally, but again, just overall impact to the game. And like, I feel like I've seen so many people throw this disc incredibly that I have to put on there. And that is the T-Bird. T-Bird, just kind of similar to the FD, just a little bit more stable, a little bit more reliable. Like I said, I've been watching since like 16, 17. I've seen Paul Macbeth do wild things with a T-Bird that, you know, even then and now blew my mind. So an underused slot for me, but definitely one that I can appreciate that has had a ton of impact for a lot of people.
I would say the T-Bird made me love fairway drivers again. I bought a T-Bird, like a DX one, when I first got in the game, and then lost it, and then went away from it. And then my buddy, who actually just came back from Colorado, moved to Colorado in the springtime, and he was giving away some disc. I picked up a really cool Domi T-Bird, and that was my favorite disc I've ever owned. It goes so far, and that really brought back my love for that 7-speed, that T-Bird spot. For sure.
Yeah, T-Bird was also number 3 on my list. And for a lot of the same reasons. Was it actually?
Yeah.
Wow, that is impressive.
I don't mind. That's so sad. It's my favorite disc, but it's not on my list.
Wow, that is sad. Well, here's the reason. If you're a beginner and you throw like a star T-Bird, they are actually decently stable. Like, or like a champ T-Bird. But I moved away from it, and then I came back to it. And now that I can actually throw, it is just so reliably consistent. Like it's never going to get squirrely on you if you've got a fresh one, and that's just going to make it happen.
The T-Bird's almost like the Honda Civic of golf discs. Like you're like, this isn't cool. Like this isn't flashy, but like you come back to it after you've bought the discs that are cool and flashy. It's like, this is kind of sick. Like,
and once you beat it in just a little bit or nick a tree, like you can get it to like slightly flip, and it's just like the best woods disc. When I lost that disc, I was in a hunt for a new woods disc, and then I finally got the Hawkeye, who does some cool stuff too. But yeah, I'm with you, dude. That T-Bird is just, and also I tell people who's learning how to throw forehand for the first time, get a T-Bird, learn to do it on that, because usually their arm speeds are pretty slow, and that's how they can learn to forehand is with the T-Bird.
Yeah. The T-Bird has all those fake air intakes, just like a Civic.
Turboed at like 12,000 or 12 PSI.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Great gas mileage, it's good.
Blows pistons.
All right, well, that was
a T-Bird, but in parentheses it says birdie strike, which is the same like numbers. So
yeah.
The strike goes far. I'll admit it.
Yeah. And if you throw it weird, it'll launch into like a drainage ditch and just disappear forever. Okay.
I kind of like all my discs to do that. If they throw them weird, I just want them to be in a drainage ditch.
Yeah, that's the goal. I did a video announcing that I was on Team Birdie, and I got that disc that day, and it's forever gone.
Unfortunate there.
I'm not sure.
Wow, this quick wrapped up this section. 3/4 of us were T-Birds on 3. How convenient here. All right, let's take it to the top 2. This is where you find out who you want to be friends with and who you don't. And I'm going to start with my second, and that is the Envy by MVP, of course. The Envy, I started off throwing the Proxy, and the Proxy was fine, but as my arm speed increased, and especially as like maybe I didn't have as much touch with that disc, because it feels like your arm speed increases and then your touch increases and then back and forth. The Envy was like, I have never been so confident in my putter lineup. I've got a beat up Envy, a fresh Envy, and a beat up Pure, and I just cover every shot shape I could ever need with that disc. It is like if someone hasn't thrown it, that's what I'm talking about. The P2 versus the Envy. The P2 is a deep throwing putter that's a little overstable.
Yeah,
the Envy is a shallow. They just go different things. Like I would almost find a reason for both of them in the bag, even if they had identical like finishing paths there.
I mean, you could even just put the MV in this list just because of the holy shot.
Yeah, no, you could. That's another reason it was in there. But like, dang, I was just continues to impress me.
Do you throw a soft one or no?
I don't throw a soft one. No,
right. I've never thrown a soft one. So everyone says that's the most understable, and I've never thrown that one. I have a neutron one that's very neutral that I liked for a while, but
yeah, the soft
is the soft one.
What
plastic is the soft one?
I think it's a soft neutron as well.
It's a soft neutron,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I would say I feel like the Envy is definitely a disc that like if you are super into mold minimalization, you can have Envies that do like overstable, straight, understable. Like you can have ones that kind of cover all of your putter slots.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys saw in Simon's video with James Conrad a couple months ago where they did an Envy versus Proxy. He just had like 5 Envies and they all did different things. And it was like, yeah, it's nice and confident and consistent. You don't have to worry about anything else there. All right, Tyler, what's your number 2 here?
Let's go to someone else's because we've already said on mine. So I'll wait for my number 1.
Wow. Okay. Who's got it?
I got one left since I've said 4.
Corey, how many do you have left?
2.
Okay, so I think let's go to Corey then.
All right, so I'm going same kind of like approach putter style as Matt, but I'm going on the opposite side of the spectrum, the Zone.
Yeah.
It's a love it or hate it disc, just like most. But if you look at every company that's coming out with a Zone-like disc, you don't say that for other discs. It's always the Zone-like disc. So you kind of have to give it to it. Plus, Discraft is really good at making every single one of their molds in 5,000 types of plastic, so you can get it however you want it. Now you can get it with like a weird rim. You can get it like even deeper for more overstability. So it's
tons of plastics.
Yeah.
That was one of my alternates. Same thing as the Destroyer, like same conversation. You can go down the line, especially now. I feel like over the past like 3 years, every company has had a push to be like, oh, we need a Zone, basically. So,
I have a theory that Discraft has a wall that has like a bunch of just words on it, and they throw 3 darts, and that's like their newest type of plastic that's coming out for like Z swirl metallic glow. Like they just throw things and then they're like, all right, mix all this right now.
Yeah, my question is who made the Zone popular?
I
actually don't know.
Is it when Paul switched to Discraft and it's just like, dude, I didn't know, but this was the disc I was missing in my bag because of my forehand and whatnot.
Do feel like those first run like black on black zones that he got a ton of, or like the black and green.
You mean all of them? He got all of them?
The green 4-claw ones, like those were super hype. I feel like they were pretty popular pre-Paul though. I could be wrong, but I don't know.
I have
a 5. I don't know.
Yeah, I have Paul's second run or something like that.
I will say the Zone was number 1 for me. If you are someone who does not throw a Zone, get a Zone and throw like 4 Annie forehand, like 80-foot upshot discs. And it isn't. You could put me 80 feet from a basket behind 10 trees. With the Zone, 90% of the time it's parked. Like I've never been so amazed by the ability for a disc to just open up a shot that didn't exist for my bag.
So funny story real quick. We were talking before we started recording that I have thrown like 4 Discraft discs lifetime, like once or twice a piece. So I had a good buddy of mine when I lived in Nashville moved to Bend, where Nate Doss's brewery is. So he bought me a bevel stamped Zone that's up there. We played around together. I threw it twice just to like see what it was like. One Annie forehand approach, cashed it from like 120 feet. So Zones are, even as a person, it's not that I dislike Discraft, I just don't throw it a lot, but
yes, you
kind
do.
of goaded.
Corey believes you do, man.
Corey's
a big Discraft lover.
I'm in Scraft Nation. So
The one thing, the reason why zone isn't on my list is because Paul and Simon and all those guys, back in the day, all threw the P2 over. No big pro was really throwing the zone to make it popular. So that's why I went P2 on my end. But yeah, you're exactly right. Everyone tries to model their approach to this with the zone, but I would argue and say the best backhand approach disc is not that trumps the zone is the AVR X3. I think that disc, when I first got in the game, that disc revolutionized my upshot game. And I like that disc more on a backhand than I do the zone. But the zone is just more versatile with the forehand. So you got to choose the zone over the AVR X3, in my opinion.
Underrated.
Yeah, I would
disc,
actually agree with you. Yeah, dude, I had AVR X3 was just cracked. But
I think that's really underrated too. But that wasn't available much during COVID.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, Corey, what's yours? What's your number 2? Did you already give your number 2?
Oh, he gave a zone, I think.
Zone was number 2.
Okay.
So now we're on number 1 for everybody.
Did everyone get number 2? I'm trying to think.
We all had one left.
Okay. All right. That was my number 1 there. Does anyone have, whoever's got one left, go for it.
I want to save mine for last.
So,
oh my goodness.
You're talking.
That tells me it's going to be controversial.
You're talking about the AVR X3 and the zone and all of the approach shot discs, but my number 1 is actually the putter of the year for 2022, which is the Birdie Marvel.
Oh my gosh!
Hello.
He brought it out.
Just gorgeous.
Just take the X3 off, and you got basically the same thing. They decided
to put it in my colors. Like, it's just so good. And like, why not 2022 putter of the year?
That is pretty undisputable. I feel like it was voted putter of the
year. Can you really claim they're your colors?
He has them trademarked.
Bro gave me blue and red and said, "Those are my colors, man.
Those are my colors." Go back to some of my old videos, okay?
No, I've seen it, to be clear, but okay.
Yeah.
I throw the Marvel, so I can attest. It's a great throwing putter. Great throwing putter.
Yep.
I haven't felt one. Got to snag one sometime, but
all right. I'm kind of shocked that
going back to the zone really quick. I have a question for you guys. The zone is 4.303.
Yeah.
If you have a 5.303, I know it's a mid, but like, what is the difference? If like, would you still use a 5-speed for an approach?
Yes. Yeah. Justice.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. It's enough. It's distinct enough because I've got the Ultra and a zone, and I think it's 4 and 5 there. But it's just a little different on like how much it glides versus just like how much it like moves through the air. It's not a crazy. I could survive without one or the other, but I like having them both.
That 4-speed is wild because the Rock is a 4-speed, but also the Toro is a 4-speed. And I will say this, the Toro and the Zone like kind of fly similar, but the Toro definitely feels like it gets out of your hand faster like it's supposed to with the 4-speed.
Okay.
But
all right, Taylor, you still have one left for us here.
Yeah, I got one left. I'm kind of shocked that it's still out here, but I got to say it similar to everybody else's. Everybody's got a very overstable 9-speed, the Firebird.
Dang.
Gotta throw it out there.
He did actually get us with that one.
I feel like I'm kind of shocked nobody said it yet, but yeah, I mean, Firebird, I feel like was super successful, super popular. Then we had the Sexton Firebird come out and then become kind of cult classic. And that's another one where, again, down the line, I can probably name every manufacturer's Firebird. So,
yeah.
So is the Sexton more or less overstable?
Less stable.
Yeah.
Much less.
I've never thrown one, so I didn't know. Ooh. I thought it was how everyone now is going like more
You're
overstable,
missing out.
like a cap wrap or anything like that.
I would say like there's a fine line between a Thunderbird, like especially a Champ Thunderbird, and a Sexton Firebird.
Let me see if I can pull mine out.
Yeah, that's true. I heard a lot about Thunderbirds and then found one time and was like, oh, I'm going to throw this. And it was one of the most overstable discs I've ever thrown. I was like, this is
that's
wild.
Sometimes people be saying that, and I'm like, bro, you just haven't thrown a fresh one in years. Like, that's what that really means. Yeah.
Do you like throwing like crazy beefy discs?
Talking all of this?
Yeah, sure.
Oh. No, not really.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say rarely.
Whatever
The Omen is one of the most overstable 9-speeds I've ever thrown.
Dude.
The Firebird or Fireball, I mean, too.
The energy.
Really?
I've never even heard of that.
13404.
Oh.
It literally, you throw it and it hits the ground like this before it even gets in the air.
Yeah.
It's stupid. I love it.
Yeah.
Dang. All right, Tyler, you're number one. You said you wanted to go last. I think everyone else exhausted their options.
Yep.
Well, I'm so sad because mine is specific, but it is exactly what Taylor said. It's the Sexton Firebird. I think it revolutionized like signature disc because there wasn't because what they did is they took an overstable disc and they said, hey, we're going to sell it the same way and just call it a signature disc, but it's going to fly different. And so I didn't know much about that. And so when I started throwing my forehand more, people were like, dude, you got to get a Sexton Firebird. And I was like, okay. So I got one and I threw it and it like went so much straighter than my regular Firebird. And I was like, this thing's amazing. And then the best part about it is once you start playing with it more, nicking a couple of trees, then it starts doing like a little like flip up if you throw it hard enough on your forehand. It's an amazing disc. I used to bag like 2 or 3 Sextons. Now I just bagged the one. But yeah, Sexton Firebird. I think it revolutionized not just the disc industry, but like the signature disc industry as well.
I agree. That's
Is
a
that
good one.
everybody?
Say it again.
Is that everybody?
No,
Yeah,
Matt's got one, doesn't he?
Oh, you're right. I do. Well, my top one was stolen here, kind of by the zone, but I have a couple. Here is my number. I would say my number one. This literally changed my score so drastically, more than any other disc. I went from regularly shooting 15 over to shooting 5 over, and this was like 2 years ago. Now I'm like under par, but whatever. And that was the Latitude 64 River. Okay,
great disc.
The Latitude 64 River is perfect for a beginner. You can get it lightweight and it's flippy. You can get it in the new Opto Ice plastic, and it's pretty much like a T-Bird or a little less than a T-Bird. Like I have 3 rivers in the bag. I only really need one, but I like it so much that's that -1-1 that's a flip up instead of the straight -1-1.
Glides
that's definitely my top
forever
one.
too.
Glides so long, huh?
Is it a 7-speed?
Yeah, it's 7.7 -1-1. And I like one guy said this.
The 7 is not fake. That thing has so much glide.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Yeah.
It ticks me off. I will throw an Avenger SS on a ton of hyzer. It will flip all the way up, and I'll be like, dang, bombed that puppy. And then I'll throw the river just flat and go farther.
Dude, I saw this guy forehand a river on a hole that's like 400 something feet, and he was like an older guy and made it turn over through the woods and parked it on a par 4 that's like through the woods that you shouldn't park because it just stays in the air so long. It's stupid. That's
what someone said. It's like the river isn't stable, but it is because it has so much airtime that it comes out of whatever it's in. Yeah, even though it's not really stable.
On the other side of top 5 discs of all time, the River Pro. Who else was like super disappointed by the River Pro?
Yeah, I've never thrown that. Is it just terrible?
They're not good. I mean, it's basically like, guys, this was a while ago. Those came out, and I played the Trilogy Challenge when they came out, when that was like one of the 3 discs. Back then, huge River fan. It was like one of the most thrown discs in my bag. So like, oh, this is going to be sick. So much more overstable than anyone expected it to be. Like, it's basically a Firebird.
Dang. Jeez.
Did anyone have like a good like honorable mention they just want to mention real quick? Just curious. I have one that's not popular opinion.
My last one that I didn't say was the AVR, just again for like kind of just revolutionizing, the game itself.
Yeah. Cool. I have the Undertaker actually. Yeah, I feel like everyone tries to emulate that disc, and when Paul came out and started throwing it and said this is like my furthest flying disc, it's super comfortable, blah blah. That I feel like you saw a lot of people start to generate discs that flew something similar. Latitude 64 just came out with the Savior. Is that like their 9501 or 2 or something like that? But there's a bunch of people who try to emulate that disc, and that's usually one that people try to figure out how to put in the bag. So That's kind of like an honorable mention, but not really.
I think for next week, we should do most underrated discs. Maybe not 5, but maybe 3 or something like that. Because there are some discs that I think no one cares about or knows about.
Dude, there's so many discs that in the bag that were underrated and I knew about, and in the bag has just exploded them. But yeah, no, I like that. We'll have to dig into that.
I have one from in the bag that was underrated, and now it's one of my favorite discs to throw. So for sure.
Nice. All right. I'm gonna take this line of questioning to the next level here. Okay. And this one is actually, I suggested it, Tyler edited it, and it is so much tougher now, which I kind of like.
Okay.
All right. You're making your own disc golf company. You can be whatever you want. You can be completely Corey Discs. Okay. And you have to decide on your first 3 molds. What are your first 3 molds? That's my question here. And whoever's ready to go first, go for it. Your first 3. This is a tough one here. And you can certainly say it's like this disc.
I would say most of mine are just like, I want to clone this disc. I can go out with my 3, just rattle them off real quick. And I would also like to say that these are definitely not recommendations for the first 3 discs that you should buy if you were new to disc golf. But
let's be clear.
The first 3 discs that I would make if I was making my own company, a lot that we just kind of talked about, similar slots. So basically something like a Sexton Firebird, like a less overstable 9-speed that still has some good bite to it. I feel like in all of these, my reasoning is generally people buy them a lot, and people generally seem to like them a lot. So Sexton Firebird-esque workable 9-speed that will flip a touch, especially on like a hard forehand, but still has good bite at the end. Basically kind of a more mellow zone, similar flight, but just a 4-speed, something that people, can have a good approach backhand and forehand with. And the last, I would honestly just say a good base plastic AVR clone, like a good putting putter. Again, obviously people will buy like 20 of to have backups, putting putters, especially if they're super committed to it. So those are just 3 slots that I think sell really well.
Cool.
Okay. I got mine.
Go for it, Corey.
2302 putter. Basically slightly overstable, but something to just like rip on.
Gosh dang you.
That disc is going to be called the Gary.
I was going to say that too.
You're going to call your disc the Gary?
No, the flight numbers.
Oh, okay. So mine's called the Gary.
Mine is a Gerald.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They're different.
You can have that.
Cool.
So we got the Gary, a throwing putter, slightly overstable. I'm going to go with a 6501.
Oh, I love that.
Because 1, you never see that. 2, a 6-speed is like that weird love child between a fairway and a mid. So like you could use it as a mid, you could also use it as a fairway. And then that one's called Steven. Then it's going to be a 10-5 -1-2. And it's going to be the driver that you didn't know that you wanted. Because 10 speed, perfect for advanced players in the woods, because I'm just going off of my bag. The Era going through the woods is basically like the slot that doesn't hit trees for some reason. It's really cool. And I think the -1-2 would be stable enough for like a forehand if you really rip on it. God bless you. Or like a backhand, you can have it flip up. You can kind of like have it turn over. It would just work. And then you could just sell it as a starter pack for those 3, Gary, Steven, and Bradley. And then, it's just called the Super Friends.
Super Friends.
I love it.
Are those all your friend names?
No,
Just off the top of your head.
Yep.
Respectable.
Yeah.
I didn't take it to the next level and think about like what would I name my disc or anything like that.
Oh, that was literally 5 seconds before I started talking. I was
don't
like,
matter.
I went with Gary,
You
and
still did it.
You made a name. No one else did. All right, Tyler, what is your 3 here?
My 3 is going to be kind of similar-ish, but mine's going to be, the first one's going to be more like a Thunderbird, so 9502. For those players who like want something a little more overstable, I guess you would say, of a backhand that can beat in, but you could also put it in some champ plastic and you can use it as a forehand disc as well. So, because it's a great forehand disc and a champ plastic too. Shout out Jeremy Colling. And then you could go somewhere around like a slightly ish understable mid-range, I think, so you can shape it in the woods a little bit. So it'd be like a 5-4 -2 2, something like that. I thought would be unique, something mid-rangey. And then my last one would be with Corey. He stole it, 2-3-0-2. So that way it's still puttable and it's still decent, like putting putter, but also you can throw it as well. So I tried to find discs that you could like mix into different categories as well. So that was because I think you could take those 3 discs, you can play them in the woods, you can play them out in the open, and you still get some good use out of those discs. I think you could score well with those.
This is so crazy. I took this question so different than you guys. It is actually insane, which is crazy because I made up the question. But okay, here's what I viewed it as. I viewed it as I am making a company and I want to sponsor a player to throw my molds. And I want to optimize molds to something they can throw the most. Okay. That's my goal here. So the name of the game for me is cycling. All right. So I went with an 8-5-0-2. Okay. So like a little bit of a faster T-bird, kind of you're headed towards a distance driver, but you're definitely not there yet, but you're not quite in the fairway range. Like you're in that middle fairway range, I should say. I then said I think I said a 5-5-0-3. So like your Champ Rock 3, that kind of style disc. Once again, you can have an overstable one. You can beat it up and get a straight one. You can beat it up even more and get an understable one. And then my final one that Corey and Tyler both took would be like a Discraft Luna, where you can throw it and it has some overstability.
Gerald!
But you can also putt it. That is just like in my head, and you could beat those up. I would actually enjoy that challenge I'm not, playing on the pro tour level, but I would enjoy that challenge as a casual player to be able to like really optimize that bag down, because you should be able to cover everything from your putters to your fairways at that point generally, and then go up from there. That's actually crazy.
Two quick takeaways. Go ahead, Tyler.
I was going to say, I think we all need to find disc like that, go out and play a local course in shorts and see what we all come back and shoot.
You definitely should. Like, of the 3 basically slots that you described, okay. I'm so screwed. Like all my stuff's overstable.
So is mine, bro. I'm in some serious trouble.
I based mine off of 3 discs that are in my bag, so I could go do that.
I have 2 quick takeaways. Okay. The first one is I'm truly the only one here that really hates flight numbers. So because that did not even cross my mind making my list. 2, Corey, I think somebody needs to jump on your idea immediately, because I just had the mental image of like I shank a drive and I'm like, gosh dang it, Gerald, and I just yell at it.
What the flippiest disc in the company is going to be called the Richard.
It's perfect.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Okay. I like it. That's so interesting. I took that as such a different way, but
no, I love your way to think about it though.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen AB, like he just released a video a couple hours ago. Every time he's throwing a Luna, it just makes me want to buy and throw a Luna.
Yeah.
Because I've got that.
It doesn't for me, because I can't find a highlighter colored like Big Z Luna or whatever he throws.
Yeah. Discraft plastic is also a mystery to me. So that's, I wouldn't even know what it means, but I do, like, it makes me want to throw it. There's only 2 people who have ever made me want to buy discs, and that's like Simon Lasagna and then freaking AB there. And both of those, the Hex and now the Luna, is
nobody
actually
gets
sick.
me more than Drew. For some reason, I see Drew throw a disc and like, yo, I need that disc.
Yeah, no, that is true as well.
I only throw like 200 feet shorter than Drew, but like, they'll do the same thing, I swear.
Did you hear on someone's podcast, I don't know who it was, they were trying to, it was with Tour Life this past week. They're asking Simon, or Brody asked Simon, do you think Drew Gibson speed is higher than Simon's, like on disc throwing wise?
What did Simon say to this? I didn't see this clip.
I don't remember if Simon, I think Simon just left it as he's up there. Like he throws really fast.
I know the one that Simon mentioned specifically was AB. Like the disc coming out of AB's hand is like faster than basically anybody else.
Yeah.
I'm still taken back by the fact that you said Simon Lasagna.
Yeah,
Dude,
just
I do have to
slip that
actually-
in there real quick.
I have to slide that to a buddy of mine. His name's Caleb, and he just wants to get an albatross so bad, but there's a pizza place around us that has this massive pizza called an abadanza, and he's a bro. If I could just get one abadanza, man, it would be so good. So he's relating it to only Italian food, which makes sense because he likes Italian food. But he'll hit you with Simon Lasagna when you don't even expect it. Very good there. But no, that's interesting. We should do that. Everyone at some point we'll schedule out a couple weeks so we have time, but we should take the closest we can get to our discs, go out, throw them, and see what we shoot and try and aim for a similar size.
Play your local shorts course and see if you can shoot a good one.
How shorts are you saying is shorts?
Like 4,000 to 5,000 feet.
Okay, understandable. Yeah, I'm kind of in a mess though. I think.
So you
I've done myself.
My forehand's got to get warmed up for this one.
Yeah, I know. I don't throw flex shots anymore. I'm in trouble. All right. What I like I said, I'm a disc golf fiend, specifically a disc fiend, but I want to give a couple minutes to me, Corey, and Taylor's scariest segment of the week. And that is, of course, not Trevor's trivia.
Let's go. So right now, I think we're averaging our question time to about 5 minutes because we got it 1 minute down last episode, and first episode it took us nearly 20 minutes or whatever it was. So maybe it's averaging like 10 minutes then. But
okay, good W on Corey's part.
This one is a little different, right? So you each get 2 guesses on snaking. So it's the first one to get it. So we'll go Taylor, Matt. Corey gets two guesses, and then we'll go Matt and Taylor again.
I get a while to think about it. Nice.
Okay. So here's the question. All right. There was sorry, dude, am I having another segment again where I can't talk? What the heck?
Give
dude?
yourself
Jeez. I'm trying to think about how to describe this. So there's a stat out there.
The answer and then we'll describe it for you.
Oh, sure, no problem. So so Drew Gibson, no. So there was hot rounds that happened last year, right? And hot round means they shot the best round of, the best round of the round, right? Obviously, out of for like the tournament for that round or whatever. So I'll tell you right now, someone had 8 hot rounds this past season, and the 5th place guy had 6 hot rounds. Okay. So there's 5 guys, or the top 5 guys that had hot rounds. Okay.
Surprise.
One guy in that top 5 is outside of the top 10. Who is it?
Oh, I think I know.
I think I know too.
So Taylor gets to go first, and Matt, then Corey.
All right. I'm going to guess. I prepared. I had Statmando pulled up, but for outside of the top 10, I'm pumped. I'm gonna guess Cole Redolin.
He's outside of the top 10.
Yes, he is number 7 on that list with 5 hot rounds. But I will say he was number 1 in some sort of statistic with hot rounds. I feel like
I remember him just shooting like random gas rounds and then just like blowing up in other rounds.
Yeah, I don't remember he was number 1 in some sort of hot round stat, but not in total rounds for the year. So Matt, you're up next.
Okay, hold up. Let me double check that the guy. I'm not going to pull a zesty move here. I am just trying to bank this off of just a belief. James Conrad.
No, not James.
Is he even
Conrad.
on your list?
James Conrad is not. Oh, he had 1, right? He had that 1 round where he shot,
that's what I was thinking about, but I thought he had others. I must have been tripping. All right, Corey, you get 2 here.
So
back to back.
Okay, I can't say anything. Corey, this is your chance to go.
You can say whatever you want.
This is your chance.
Any hint that you want to throw out.
It's your chance to go 2 for 2 the last 2 weeks and not Trevor's trivia.
I'm not a stats guy.
You get 2 guesses.
I'm going to just go off my favorite player, Aaron Gossage.
Aaron Gossage, he had 6 hot rounds, and he is your guy who's at number 5. You got it correct. Really? You got it.
Dude,
I was thinking that.
Okay, let's go pick the Powerball.
Dude, I was
insane.
literally like, I'm teeing up Corey to get this one again.
Yeah. I just had to
That's
double
sick.
check. It wasn't the top 10 because he was
That's a great guess. So number 1, who is it?
Paul Macbeth.
Who had the most hot rounds last year? Take a guess. Quick.
Gannon Burke.
Paige Pierce.
Calvin.
I was
Okay.
gonna say it has to be Calvin. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It goes Calvin, Isaac at 7, and then at 6 we have 6 hot rounds. We have Ricky, Gannon, and then Aaron Gossage. Goes Eagle, Cole, Simon, and Matt. So it's crazy is that all these hot rounds are all top 10 players. So
There he is.
what? There he is.
He's flexing a little.
The stash, baby.
You have multiple of those, Corey.
Yeah, the other ones are.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
You see how excited he was? You
I
see
was
the smile on
gonna
his
say,
face? The smile on
I
his
gotta know
face.
those.
This one, the mustache makes sense because it's like very retro. It's like 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
okay.
Windbreakers, baby.
Guys, you're 2 for 3 through these
We're
Not
really
Trevor's
making up
trivia,
this
man.
average time, though. I
We
like
are
the
making up
idea of
this
having a
average time.
snake
Two.
draft too. We
I'm
should
2
keep
for
up
2
with.
because
If we
don't
do
count
individual
for-
ones, we should keep up
Yeah.
with wins. So Corey's got 1 win.
Corey is just clapping us.
So
terribly right now.
Corey will go first next week then.
I
There
might
you go.
actually have a chance to like go back on debate night.
And Corey, Corey's all like, I don't know stats.
Corey
Both
is
times, and then he just
What
nails
if,
Yeah,
it.
just
what if I
basic.
just started sneaking in like Aaron Gossage is like the answer for
It's
every
all
single
actually
week?
just Aaron Gossage trivia.
gosh. Dang.
No, we're
Okay.
gonna do the baseball thing where he does something with his face, like twitches his nose, and I'm like, okay, it's this guy.
Right.
He
Yeah.
knows. He knows. That is actually crazy. Corey's percentage is through the roof right now, bro. I gotta study up, guys. I gotta study up for real here. Okay, well, we're gonna get back on the disc train for just a minute, and then we're gonna kind of give a very nice, concise wrap up to how we feel about disc golf, because I really think that's the goal here.
I
Is
hate
your
it.
dip and your other stuff. Corey hates it, but he is cracked at trivia, which is terrible for us. Okay, so our question is this: it's 2 discs here. A disc you loved the second you threw it, and a disc you hated the second you held it. Okay,
I forgot about this.
it's a little sneaky one in there. I wanted to make sure you didn't hate anything I loved. So
I've got 2 prepared, so I can go ahead and go first. I'm
So
passionate
let's
about
all
these two.
do like a loved or hated first.
All right, so one that I loved as soon as I saw it, and I prepared like Corey to have some product placement. This is the Terminal Velocity Ursus. This is similar to like a more glidey Justice, basically. So the reason, as soon as I threw this, that I loved it, I love the feel. So I like kind of bulkier mids. You can see it's beaded, kind of thick for our audio listeners. I'm sorry, it's a thick beaded chunky boy. The reason I very much love this, if you know me for the longest time, I am horrible at forehand approaches, forehand anything, very terrible. For some reason, just the way this fits in my hand, and like it has the lip under here that my ring finger can sit in, the stability that gives me for a forehand, this disc is like the reason I have a forehand now. So definitely one that as soon as, I'm super proud of myself. I told my mom, she asked what disc golf was. It was a whole conversation. But definitely a super, super nice forehand approach disc. Like it on backhands too, but specifically for what it's done for my forehand.
Hey, Mr. I hate flight numbers. What's the flight numbers?
5503, I think. Somewhere in there.
Okay.
Zach, don't yell at me if that's wrong, but that's my guess.
The goal here is he wants you to know it flies amazing, and you should all pick one up today. That's the goal there.
Sure.
All right, Corey, what is your loved? We'll wrap back around to hated, but what's your loved, Corey?
My loved. I'm gonna go
He's panicking.
more product placement. No, I'm gonna go with the Finish Line Supra. It is very, very comfortable in the hand. It is kind of the Buzz SS or something else that's similar to the Buzz SS, but it's kind of like blocky, which makes it feel so good in the hand. And then depending on how hard you throw it, it could be pretty stable. It could be dead straight. It could be flippy. It's really nice. So yeah, the Supra. If you haven't tried it, try it.
Supra. Oh, good.
And I've got it in the glow plastic. It's pretty. I like how it flies. I've got to snag it in like a different plastic to see how much the flip difference is. Because even Drew was seeming to say it was like, it was definitely that 1-1 on
Corey
mine.
gets it to flip up really well in his videos.
Yeah. Corey, how much more is the glow plastic overstable in your head than the normal plastic? Or is it even an effect?
So I consider the glow kind of like a buzz.
Yeah. That's what
And
I
then
was going to
this
agree
would
with
be
that.
the Buzz SS. So like it's not crazy, but it's enough for me to tell to where I usually bag these two. But now that it's sweater weather, I took this out because it's going to get lost in the leaves.
In the abyss. Understandable. Yeah. Tyler, what's your loved disc?
So I have two-ish, but I have one that I remember just picking up, and I just felt like super confident with the disc, and it's actually the Grace. The Grace is a disc that was like a smaller, it felt like a thinner edge that I could hold better because I don't have the most big, or I don't have the biggest hands, so it felt like it was a disc I could hold that was a distance driver that felt really strong. It fit really well in my hand. I really enjoyed throwing it, and also when I flip, the biggest thing for me is I like to be able to throw a backhand and forehand. And when I flipped it to forehand, it felt good forehand. It wasn't too deep hand for the forehand either. So that was my guy that I picked up, and I felt super confident with it. My 1B is I didn't want to use it for 1A because I don't want it to be the Marvel show, but the Birdie Marvel throwing wise, I've never been, there it is again. Gosh dang it. There it is. So the Marvel is I've never been able to throw putters. So when I picked up a Marvel and threw it, I was like, oh my gosh, I can throw a putter finally. And so, yeah, Marvel's got to be my 1B as well. But my number one, the best disc I've ever picked up immediately and loved it was the Grace.
All right, I'll take it. I'm going to give mine here. And mine is, he's got more to check to show you guys.
Wait, there's more?
Let's go. Wait.
You don't realize
there's more.
There's one over there next to my lava lamp. There's another stack of Birdie Marbles. So,
by the way, I just want to say something. If you've seen the evolution of that lava lamp, this show, it was like nothing,
it's
and then
now
it's starting to get,
yeah. It's like an easy bake oven.
Yeah.
Dang. All right, my most loved disc of all time. I don't even throw it anymore, which is kind of sad. But the Mako 3. Back when I started throwing it, I could not throw anything straight, and I managed to grab the perfect disc with the perfect stability, purely based on idiot move. And I remember I saw one random comment on an old forum that said the Mako 3 is amazing. And I was like, okay, I went to my local retailer and snagged one, and it probably, like I say, the River, I love the River. It did a lot for me. But the Mako 3 was a straight mid-range, and it just changed how I was throwing everything. So it's definitely my most loved.
Yeah,
I need to try a Mako 3 because this will show how old I am. I was playing when the Protostar Makos came out. We ordered like 3 or 4 of them, and I really liked it, but I hated how domey it was. So I feel like obviously the 3 flat top would be, right up my alley. So I need to snag one.
So you're 56?
I am. The MD1 is a flatter version of that, and I throw a Mindbender in my bag. That's a good one to suggest. I didn't totally think about that. The only thing that I have the thing about the 5500 is just, or the 5600 is that if you don't throw it straight, it's going to expose you.
Yeah.
But it feels great. You're right. I love that great. Mako 3 feel.
Yeah, and in my head, I wanted to be exposed because I wanted to get better.
It's a great form check disc too, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think the same goes for a lot of other inner cores, but inner core, other just straight flying mid ranges or putters. They're just crazy good for seeing those form changes there. All right, we're going to most hated here. Who wants to start us off? Their most hated disc.
Me,
Tyler.
I'm going right into it real high. I freaking hate the Rock.
Oh my
the Rock.
goodness.
The Rock feels so bad in the hand. The DX plastic, whatever other plastic, it just doesn't feel good in my hand. It's so blocky. I don't like how it's such a double feel
so
to
much
it.
passion in yours.
Oh
wait.
I hate the Rock.
The Rock or the Rock 3?
No, the Rock. The Rock feels so
Wayne
bad.
Johnson.
Have you ever thrown a Lion or a V-Rock?
Yes.
Okay. Similar feelings.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
The thing about the rock is that like the bottom of it is so curved. Like I like a mid range that is kind of like blunt edged on the bottom, so it just lays against my finger like perfectly. Yeah, I don't know. And so the rock has got this curved bottom to it, bottom plate, and I just hate it because I feel like I can't grip it all the way. I've never been able, throwing aside, we're talking about when you pick it up, how did it feel? My brother had a rock. He gave it to me to try, and I just hated it. It didn't feel good. Couldn't throw it well. Hate it.
That is such a wait. Okay, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what to say here. This is such a tough take. I don't know if I can stand by that take there, but it's your take.
I'm just as passionate, but it's a different disc.
What are you passionate about, Corey?
Yeah,
Maybe we can agree on something. Because now me and Tyler, I don't know about that one.
I hate nukes. I hate them with a passion. Since like 2008, 2009, I've been trying to throw a nuke, and it doesn't do what I'm told it's supposed to do, what I want it to do. It's the stupidest disc ever, but every single time Ezra Aderhold throws one, I grab one off of the shelf, and I'm like, I gotta give it another, and then it doesn't work. The nuke is stupid. It doesn't fit in your hand.
It's big.
It's like an airplane jet.
Yeah.
And then when you go to throw it, it does something different every time, and it never does what you want it to.
I feel like the understable versions of Discraft disc for distance drivers don't fly consistent every time.
But that's the thing. I love the crank. I love the Venom because it's very reliable.
That's not understable though, but yes.
That's true.
Yeah.
But
the Force is great. The Venom's great.
Yeah, the Force is basically a Venom without the stability.
Yeah.
Yeah. The nuke, for some reason, it just does not work.
Okay, all right. I agree with his take. I think I agree with any big distance driver take, but there's some good ones, but they just feel weird in your hand. Taylor, what is your most hated disc of all time?
Yeah, I'm less passionate about this one. And I will say I completely forgot this disc existed until Trash Panda recently had this in one of their videos. But I had these when they came out, specifically the driver, but I had both of them. So the Ching Velocity is the driver, and then the Juju was the putter. But these, if you haven't seen Trash Panda's videos, I don't have it with me, but it is, it has little imprints on the top for your thumb to go in.
Oh yeah.
So you should take a look at a picture, but super interesting. The putter wasn't as bad because you can be a little bit more malleable with how you're holding it, but trying to power grip a driver and how it has the thumbprints indented in facing inwards, just absolutely horrible.
Garbage.
Dang. Okay. Well, that's a reasonable take here. Very reasonable. All right, I'm gonna hit you with one, and this is a bad one, and I know Tyler might be mad about this one. Okay,
I'm ready.
Okay, I need to preface this by saying I know Innova does their F2 sale every Friday, and they tell you that the disc's flight is not affected.
True.
They are lying. Okay, my most hated disc.
The Eagle, I know it.
Not the Eagle.
Okay.
The Leopard. My most hated disc is the Leopard. Here's why. I have a Leopard 3 that's fine. I got a Leopard. I made a logical decision as a beginner. I got a 6-speed disc that was a little understable. Perfect example. It flew like it was an Eagle. And I got so mad and continued to try to throw it for months. I wish I had it here. Guess what I could have done and looked at? The whole rim. It's in Champ Plastic. The whole rim is full of bubbles, okay? Which if you don't know, based on my logic and I double check some stuff, if it's full of bubbles, that means there's less weight in the rim and it's all in the middle, which means the gyroscopic effect doesn't exist and it's more stable.
Can't spin it as fast.
I will say too, some brand new Champion Innova discs are different discs than what they're supposed to be for the most part. You can get a brand new Champ Sidewinder that's just go straight,
So
like dumps
stable.
out. Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, it ticks me off so badly. And now I've thrown a leopard 3 and I like a leopard 3, but Rivers already took my heart. So why would I throw a leopard 3 or a leopard? But it made me so mad. If you're a beginner, F2 Fridays is sick, but some of the discs will be zesty.
Be careful.
So just be ready. Yeah.
Do you actually hate the leopard, or do you just hate?
I hate the
F2?
flight. It made me hate the leopard so much.
Have you thrown a different leopard?
Yes.
Hold on. I'm about to renege this right now. You said as soon as you felt it.
Sorry, no, I should specify. As soon as I threw it,
Okay.
it was always stable. And even though I enjoy the whole hand feel, it has caused such a bad feeling in my head that I cannot throw it.
You've thrown a different leopard,
Yes,
not the leopard 3. Not the
I've
leopard
thrown
3.
I've thrown a different leopard and the leopard 3. I enjoy both of those, but it's caused such a bad stigma in my head. I can never go back and throw the leopard.
Yeah, that sounds like 14-year-old math right there.
I'm just telling you. You wanted the answer, bro.
You need to go find yourself a Barry Schultz champion leopard. That thing is sick. My buddy found one at Stafford Woods. Same guy, Jesse Betts, I mentioned ago. Almost aces hole 10 with it first throw. And it's an amazing flight disc.
Yeah, no, to be clear, like I could have opted down a totally different thing if I hadn't snagged this leopard first. Like I just would have never picked up Rivers, but I found a river on a course, started throwing it, just accumulated more somehow. And it's doing the same thing a leopard would do for me. So why would I not throw the river? Like I just enjoy it. And it's more than that. And it's causing bad stigma. So I'll say I have thrown a leopard well, but I changed to a G-Star 156 gram leopard 3 after the fact. And because I had never could throw it straight.
Oh, he's
I
worked up.
always acted like it was throwing overstable.
Okay, we didn't get that heated. Okay.
It ticked me off, and I got glitchy. Who knows why? But it ticked me off so badly. But that is my least favorite disc, my most hated disc of all time.
I think you need to take a nap.
Maybe so. Who knows? Someone else will say this. Robbie C agrees with me, but for different reasons. So I don't know.
Listen,
I don't know what his reasons.
All you said is loved or hated as soon as I felt it. If we were talking flight, I'll tell you about some disc I hate. But yes, the rock sucks. Anyone who throw rocks,
You shouldn't do that in glass houses.
It's true. That is true.
I don't get the whole love for the rocks. I don't get it. I'll just say that. And here's the thing, though. I have a buzz in the bag for the summertime that flies very far. I don't even love how that disc feels, but I throw it great, so it stays in the bag. So
do you hate how the hex feels too?
No, I actually like how the hex feels. To be honest with you, I love how the MD3 feels, but I don't throw that well because I have it in C-line. I haven't thrown it in S-line plastic. My favorite mid-range I've ever felt is the J from Innova, which is a 5401, which is the old MD3. It feels so good in hand. It fits perfectly. It just nestles against the little pad in my it's like very blunt bottom edge, and it just goes so straight. But I felt that if I threw it a little bit on Anheuser, it would never fight out like a Buzz would. So it's a little touchy. But
all right, understandable here. Understandable. Okay, we're gonna go into our last topic of the night. This one's a little different. I didn't suggest this one. It's not disc related, although, Tyler and I probably have a little beef after that one. But
wow, Amelie just throwing me under the bus. If you guys don't like this next section, blame me is what Matt's saying.
No. I like this. No, I'm
It's
saying
not my
I have beef. To be
I
clear,
didn't come up with this.
I'm saying I have
Dad
beef.
told me to do it, Mom. Dad told me to do it.
I'm saying I have beef with Tyler now about he hates
The Rock.
What did you use? The Rock, yeah, and
Rock.
that's insane, and I hate the leopard. So we're fighting on that one. But I do like this question, actually. We're going to do a Mount Rushmore of all-time disc golf moments. We're going to do a snake draft, right? That's what you want to do, Tyler? Yep. And it's your top 4 disc golf moments of all time. Okay. What order do we want to do this in here?
You picked the order.
Okay, fine. I'm going to go.
You're the TD tonight, so you're.
I'm going to go Tyler,
Yes.
Nice.
Taylor,
Nice.
me, and then Corey.
Corey getting shafted.
And Corey gets 2 picks.
He
So
does.
that's a W. And we'll bounce back and forth there. So Tyler, Taylor, me, and Corey. Tyler, start us out. I know what he's going to take.
His first pick has to be pretty obvious, right?
Yeah, it's so obvious.
So I have another one in mind. I'm afraid somebody's going to steal it, but I think I'll be able to snack it next time back around to me. So I'm not even going to talk about that one. First one has to be the holy shot. Greatest shot ever in the moment. I tell people all the time, it is the greatest moment in sports history. And everyone laughs at me. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. It's the greatest tournament in disc golf of the year. He had to make it to go to a playoff against the greatest disc golfer, arguably of all time. It's the greatest moment of all time. I watched it live, and me, my wife, and my brother all will remember that moment for the rest of our lives. Holy shot, number one. Write it down.
Yeah, it was such an easy one to take there. You had to take it.
It is the number one pick.
Right.
My one knock on the holy shot is it wasn't to win. I feel like it's like even bigger if like he wins off of that, but it's still, I mean, obvious the number one pick.
I'm gonna write these down for us, by the way.
I'm also writing them down, but maybe double check me. Taylor,
I'll write them down.
Tyler,
for your pick.
write that down, and then you started writing it down.
Taylor, what is your first pick here?
All right, my first pick, and this may be a little off the beaten path. I don't know. We'll get the vibe of everyone's mindset. I was thinking more of like clips of disc golf. Well, this one is in the realm of clips of disc golf that get shared the most, seen the most. So I am going with Kevin Jones' slip ace. That's my
good
pick.
one.
Such
Just
a
because,
classic.
again, I think we've talked about this before, but like that happened. Even still, I get people that send me that clip that are like, "Yo, you play disc golf? Have you ever seen this?" I'm like, only 7,000 times.
Yeah, that's a great one though. All right. Oh, it's me. I'm gonna take it before anyone else can. Simon Lasagna joining MVP discs. It's got to be
like
up
that
there
one.
as the most insane. It's really relevant to people in the sport, but I think it's just relevant in general.
It's hard to
Corey,
say
that
a
means-
$10 million contract is not like a large moment for
Yeah,
disc golf.
exactly. And
Especially for a
specifically
guy. Yeah, go ahead.
because it's Simon, that also
Yeah.
matters, you know.
Yeah, he pretty much, like he said recently on Tour Life, he was Discraft. Like he was involved with Discraft. He's not in with MVP yet. So,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, did I just leak some information? I said Inva.
He said, yeah. I was so confused with this guys. He also said Discraft.
Yeah, very confused.
Dude, I'm just throwing out everybody.
Just let him. Just
I'm
him
still
cook, let him
worked up
cook.
about
Discmania.
I'm still worked up about the Rock and hate. So
Yeah,
gotta
apparently
calm
so.
down.
All right, Corey, you get 2 picks now. That means
back to back.
All right. So my first one is Kevin Jones slip ace.
bro, you got to swap something out, brother.
Was that set already?
Yeah, Taylor binked that one.
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
It was number 2 for me. My first one is going to be Paul Macbeth, The Perfect Round at D-Glow.
Ooh, that's a good
I
one.
had that on my list.
And I actually went back and watched most of it. And at the very end, his interview, he says something along the lines of, it had to happen here because it's easy here, which is, it's something, I don't quote me, but it was literally something like, like I'm glad it happened here because it's an easy course or something stupid like that.
I will say too, I had specifically Paul's final putt at that round. I feel like it gets glossed over that putt was like an uphill like 70-footer. Like that was, I mean, like in the moment you know it's going in because it's Paul and like everything around it, but like that was not an easy putt.
Yeah.
No doubt. Corey, you have a second pick now. You can.
I'm gonna go with the Jomez practice rounds.
The Jomez practice rounds.
I think the Jomez practice rounds are doing a lot for the sport because whether you're like actually into disc golf or you're not, it's something fun to watch. It's like the first bit of disc golf that my wife actually wanted to watch. She was like, "Can we watch one of those? Because those were funny." And I was like, "Yes."
Absolutely.
Does your wife like Germ or Yuli more?
I think she's a big Germ. Big Germ.
My wife's a Yuli fan.
Yeah, I think it's more or less just like the banter back and forth.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I'm going to practice rounds.
Dang. All right, back to me. I'm going to steal it. I think it's more important than people think. And it's showing a little love here. Foundation hitting 100K.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And here's my reason for this. Swanky did a similar list last week or 2 weeks ago, and it was on there, and it got me thinking about this, not in their terms necessarily, but the terms of a company that is not a player. They might have been represented by players, and they're certainly represented by players, but a company that is not a player getting up so high when it's just like, it's not guys that are playing professionally. You know, you might have Brody or Paul in there or other pros, but having that there, I think, is changing how we view the content creator scene of disc golf.
Like
and
a channel auxiliary to the Pro Tour, essentially.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Yeah.
And more of my top four will be from that content creator thing, but I think that's just where like my head's always been at. So I see the same trends that happen like across tons of platforms.
I understand that. My only spite is Brody Smith currently has 2.19 million subscribers. So I think they have some kind of like.
No, I agree. Yeah, I agree they do. But I'm saying like they did it. Yes, Brody Smith is on the channel, but I would argue that Paul McBeth, when he was initially with them, was potentially a greater influence on that than Brody Smith's. Like how much of Brody Smith's subscribers are back from when he was doing videos with Dude Perfect? Like, bro, I think when I first came into playing disc golf, I was like, bro, I'm subscribed to Brody Smith. What in the world? And I was like 8. So like, you know, do the numbers there. But I'm saying I think they are related. 2 years ago, I was 8 years old, and I was like, dang, how am I already subscribed to this boy? But it's a specific that it is not a pros channel doing that. I think it's easy to do on a pro shot.
Yeah.
All right, we're back to Taylor for your second pick of the night.
Is it Tyler or is it me? I already forgot the order.
Taylor.
And then I get two.
Yeah, you're good. I had it written down.
I'm lost in the sauce already. Don't mind me.
You're good.
Very similar. This is still up here. Was just next on my draft board. Similar vein of the Kevin Jones slip ace, but the generation before. Give me the Philobatross. Beaver State playing. That was like the first disc golf video I think that ever got like over 1 million views. So just as far as reach goes to outside of the disc golf world, it's a big one.
Makes sense. Tyler?
Yeah, I think we watched the same video of like highlight clips.
All right, Tyler, you're second and third, I guess.
I'm going to choose an Albatross as well, but this was the very first FPO Albatross, and it was Holland Hanley's Albatross, not this season, but the season before, at I think it was OGB.
I think so. I don't know if it's on my head, but I believe so. All right. What's your third pick now? Certainly a good one, but
I cannot spell Albatross to save the life of me.
Ain't no thing, man. We got autocorrect for a reason.
My third one, I have I'm just gonna go with I'm gonna go with my favorite moment. It was at, I believe, Jonesboro 2 years ago, where Paul has his putt from like 60 feet. He hits the cage and it rolls down the hill at 80 feet. He immediately picks up the disc and just throws it and makes it from 80 feet. It was the most wild moment I've ever seen. I'm like, that man has got ice in his veins and does not care one bit. So that may not be really an all-time greatest moment, but that was when I was like, yo, this dude's legit. It's sick. Go watch it. I believe it's 2022 Jonesboro second round Paul McBeth.
All right. Very good there. Taylor, it's back to you for your third pick.
Yeah, so this is going to be similar to what Tyler was saying. The holy shot to me is like a moment that I very specifically remember watching live and just is like imprinted into my brain. But Paul's putt on 17 at the 2022 Worlds in Emporia, I specifically remember it was like with friends watching it on my phone, and Paul hit that putt and I like audibly gasped and like started freaking out because that was just like such a huge momentum change in the tournament. It was a crazy putt.
All right, very good. I am going to go for my third. And it is something that I would not have expected at the beginning of the year. And now we've had it happen. And that is Isaac winning 2 majors in 2023. Specifically because I feel like all we talked about on debate night, including myself, is how that no one was going to do that. Or, we were like, it's too saturated now. This isn't happening unless it's Paul Macbeth. That was our kind of caveat to that. And then we turn around and it's not Paul Macbeth. It's Isaac. So Isaac winning 2 majors is definitely going to be in my Mount Rushmore there. All right.
Huge for sure.
Corey, this means you have your last 2 right here, right now.
Yeah, and I have 3 that I'm like...
Debate here is what you're telling me. What's your debate here, Corey?
I'm trying to figure out why Tyler is giggling.
Because I just ran away real quick and came back.
So I have 2 to pick from, but I have 3 that are options.
This is a tough one. Tyler, for reference...
These are your closing picks too, Corey.
Yeah, these are your closing picks. For reference, Tyler, I said my third was Isaac's 2 majors this year because we all acted like it was impossible other than Paul Macbeth at the beginning of the season, and then it turned around and happened. So
Taylor's was put on 17 at USDGC.
2022 Worlds.
22.
Oh,
yeah.
2022 Worlds. Okay.
Very similar, but that's the one specifically.
All right, so my third one, I'm going to go with the making of the inner core.
Dang, okay.
I like that one.
Because that is something that's never... most people didn't think that was possible. Having like someone who started a YouTube channel specifically on, okay, let's try and like recycle discs, make discs out of recycled stuff. I can't wait to like figure out how to do this. And then you actually got to see the progress. And like finally he has a factory with multiple injection molders making discs, which is insane. And it literally started not only in his garage, but like on YouTube. You get to watch the entire thing. So I think that kind of goes to show where content creation is like leagues above where like we thought it would be. And then my fourth one has got to be the 2022 Putter of the Year, the Birdie Marvel. I mean, it won an award, guys.
Historic.
It's 2022 Putter of the Year.
Underdog.
So
Hungry dogs run faster.
Yeah, exactly. And then my honorable mention that the wind that pushed Brody OB.
Yes, dude, that is actually so funny.
It's the most ridiculous thing ever, and I think it helped kind of sculpt where the Pro Tour is going in certain months, because that was stupid.
I watched that video like 4 times because I could not believe that. I was like, bro did everything right and it didn't matter. Like, that's a tough one there. Dang. All right. I'm down to my fourth. Unexpected one, but I'll take it here. And this is a tough one here because I've got a couple, but I don't know.
We can say some honorable mentions at the end.
I've definitely got some honorable mentions.
Yeah. Okay. I am gonna go for. I'm gonna go back to Simon Lizotte, and I'm gonna go for Simon Lizotte's wave. I think it was the wave throw over 16's island to make that shot and make one of the smartest moves I have ever seen. So I believe it was hole 16 there, throwing purposely out of bounds to take the par.
At the toboggan?
At Deglow, yeah.
Yep.
Deglow, yep.
Yeah.
I witnessed that in person.
That is just so hype. That's so funny. Like, I don't know. I love that, but
you should have heard the crowd. They were
in
like,
shock.
"What an idiot! How did you do that?"
That's just so smart. All right.
That's so funny though, because in ball golf we think about those things when it comes to it, because we play that as a lateral hazard, and maybe later this year we'll talk about the rules and stuff like that, but we think about that stuff in ball golf. So when I saw him do it, I was like, oh, he's genius. And then a lot of people I heard, like, it took him a while to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Taylor, it is back to you.
Yeah, I've got a few that I'm peeking through, but I'm gonna have to go for the historic significance, and It's funny to me that this tournament used to be a national tour and is now not even on the pro tour. But Ricky Wysocki's putt on 18 to win the 2016 Masters Cup, which was an NT, which for those of you that don't know, was battling with Paul McBeth that whole tournament. Big putted him at the end, hit like a 60-footer, and that is where the Raptor legs were born. So huge putt, huge moment.
Well, that was Ricky Wysocki putt on 17 for Masters Cup?
It was on 18, last hole.
Oh, but that was 2017, you said?
2016.
Okay. I've seen that footage. I just couldn't remember. By the way, is Raptor legs overrated? I'm kind of sick of hearing about it.
I think it's like the amount of times that everyone calls Ken Climo the champ.
Champ, yeah. It's similar.
Is the McBeast as overrated?
No.
I don't hear it as much.
No, we don't. I'm saying
I
we
feel
don't hear
like
as
my
much.
personal bias is there because I'm much more of a Paul fan than a Ricky fan. So I'm like, no,
I'm
the
saying
Beast isn't overblown. But
We
like
don't
Raptor
hear
legs
it that
is.
often, but it's just like a gimmicky thing as well as the Raptor legs is.
I feel like
Yeah.
it ties back into Paul not being good this past year.
Well, no, you only hear it when he's like on fire. It's like, oh, he's bringing out the McBeast. But like literally Ricky could like make a 15-foot putt and they're like, here comes Raptor legs.
All right.
He's
all
got
right.
the Raptor legs going.
Yeah.
Just asking questions here. All right. Tyler, you have our last pick of the night.
Okay, so I'm going to go funny for this one, but honestly, it was thrilling to watch the Birdie Marble in 2022. It was thrilling to watch this, and if you haven't seen it yet, and I'm spoiling it for you, too darn bad. You should have seen it by now. But it was Connor breaking 86
I
at
had
New
this on
London
my
last week.
list.
Congratulations to Connor for breaking 86. It was a glorious video. It might be like disc golf YouTube video of the year, last minute 2023, because it was such a good watch. And his putt on hole 9 where he threw it and it like was going over the basket. As soon as he threw it, he said, "Oh, I'm goated." And then it was, if the pole wasn't there, it was going to be, launched. It would have been launched. Yeah.
My favorite thing too is Hunter at the end, like being kind of sad. I was like, this was the best series we had. And like, now it's over.
That was so hype. I got teary eyed. That was
Now
awesome.
the question is Hunter going to be able to break 68?
The answer is no.
I believe.
No.
I believe.
Taylor believes, but none of us. All right, that's our Mount Rushmore here of moments. I think we've all got some pretty good ones. Some surprise ones for sure. I wasn't expecting this. Maybe we need to throw out a poll or something and see who thinks we have the best Mount Rushmore here. And see before the episode comes out who we think is right there. But all of these are pretty dang good. Gentlemen, any last minute closing thoughts here before we go?
The Marvel's a really good one.
The 2022 Birdie Marble. No, I'll echo what Tyler said too. Twitter and Instagram both exist. We're working on an Instagram giveaway. Be on the lookout for that. And also we'll probably put up a poll for the Mount Rushmores for everybody to vote on. So pick your favorite Mount Rushmore over there. Be on the lookout for that one. But otherwise,
Pick mine, by the way. Yeah. That would be a good one for me. We just want to thank you guys so much for watching, listening, and interacting with us on the regular. We have to thank Foundation for not only bringing us together, but now providing support for us. So if you need to snag discs or anything like that, head over to foundationdiscs.com. We really appreciate the fact that they're allowing us to hang out and talk about something we love on the regular and be able to be, a text or phone call away if we have questions there. Other than that, we will see you guys next week. Bye, everybody.
Peace.
Bye.